You've seen those sizzling fajita platters zoom through the dining area at a restaurant? Well, we're gonna make those, but better. We're gonna be making some carne asada. Take a jalapeno, cut it in half, de-seed it. I like to flatten these out, crush them down so that it makes it easier to slice. Then we're just gonna give it a fine dice. This will be going into our marinade along with half of that garlic, because the other half we're gonna be using for our chicken fajita. Gonna take a lime and squeeze that in there. Take a few clementines. Yeah, stick to cooking, dude. You can use oranges. This is just what I had on me at the time. So I just used 3 of these and squeezed them in there. And don't let them go to waste, because there's still a lot of good juice in there. I'm gonna take a heavy pinch of salt. I got this nice flake salt from Home Goods. And then some fresh cracked pepper, some cumin, and some apple cider vinegar. I like to add a little thyme as well. And then lastly, chop up some cilantro and throw that in there. Give it a good mix. Now we're gonna take this skirt steak. You can also use flank steak or ribeye. Skirt steak has a nice beefy flavor and it's pretty lean. So if you wanted something more fatty, I'd go with the ribeye. So we're gonna just take this and heavily salt it and pepper before we throw it in the bag and pour our marinade on it. And you can let this sit from anywhere from like a few hours to overnight. I just let it sit for about 6 hours. For the chicken, we're just gonna use a little oil, some salt, some cumin, and some chili powder, and a little bit of cayenne for heat, and the rest of that garlic. Give it a little mix. Now we're gonna trim down this chicken, cut off all the fatty pieces, and trim it down a little bit so it cooks evenly. So those trimmings we actually use for our dog. I swear this dog eats better than me sometimes. Now take that chicken breast and just put it in the bag with the marinade. Same thing with like this skirt steak. We're just gonna set that in the fridge. Now we're gonna cut up our vegetables. Peel off that sticker. I seen a thing that Shaq said. He said, I keep a sticker on my head so that if a cannibal tries to eat me, he has to peel it off so I can get away. So we're gonna chop up some red bell peppers and some poblanos and onions. I myself don't like green bell peppers. I feel like they're overpowering in their flavor and they take over everything. So I like to use poblanos. They got a good little heat. It's not too overbearing, you know. Mild heat, but a lot of flavor. Half moon those onions, give them a nice mix. And there you go, you got your fajita veggies. Now we're gonna make some salsa. Get a pan nice and hot with some dry heat. Add a few tomatoes, some jalapenos, some garlic, and roast those on all sides. We're also gonna add a guajillo chili pepper for some smokiness. We're also gonna be using some fresh tomatoes, because you know, I like it chunky. And also, we'll give it a complexity of flavors. You got the fresh tomatoes, the roasted tomatoes, some fresh garlic, roasted garlic. I know you guys were thinking, hey, that's not enough garlic for salsa, but I have fresh garlic and roasted garlic. So we're gonna take this onion and give it a nice dice. Take half of it and put it in the bowl. The other half we're gonna be putting in the blender. Along with the tomatoes, the jalapenos, the garlic, and some cilantro. And there you go, there's those onions. And we're gonna squeeze some lime in there. I squeezed 2 limes. And there's that guajillo chili pepper we cooked down till it was soft. Add some salt and just blend her up. And there you go, pour that over your fresh tomatoes and onions. I had to add another tomato because it was kind of spicy. And there you go, you got some fresh salsa. Ooh, look at that. Okay, now everything's prepared. It's fajita time. Here's your skirt steak. I'm gonna only use a piece of it. I'll probably use that other half for some breakfast or something, I don't know. Now we're gonna take those veggies, saute those up in oil, add a little salt in there as well, and we're gonna prepare our cold side, which is gonna be some avocado. Just slice that up, flatten it out. Some limes. And some fresh onions. We'll also have some cilantro, some sour cream, and some of that fresh salsa. Now we're gonna get a pan nice and hot, some vegetable oil, and sear up our carne asada. We're gonna be cooking this to medium rare. Take your veggies, hit it with some of that fresh salsa, and flip your skirt steak. It was about 3 minutes on both sides, give or take. I just go by feel. Cook it to what temp you want, and then let it rest while we cook our chicken. Same thing, pan nice and hot with some oil, and sear that up. We're also gonna get that skillet starting to get hot while we cut up our carne asada. We're gonna cut it against the grain. Oh, look at that, perfect medium rare. And a snacky for the chef. Now cut your chicken up, make sure it's done. Now toast up your tortilla shells. We got the El Milagros. These are the best corn shells you can find. Just gonna do a quick toast on both sides. And now for the action. Once your sizzler skillet's nice and hot, you're gonna hit it with some oil. Keep that flame on. And then just slap it with the vegetables. The oil will spit up, and that's what creates your little flame. It's just for show, really. You don't really have to do all that. Runner, we need to get this off the table 3. Come on, let's go.
Hot plate coming through.
All right, shut up. The food's talking. And we only had one sizzler plate, so we had to put one on a just regular plate. So let's make a taco. Get some of that meat on there, some vegetables, some of that avocado, fresh onions, fresh salsa, some cilantro in a line. Baby, man, this stuff was so good. Y'all, thanks for watching. More videos to come. Please subscribe if you want to see more. Food Uncensored, we out.